Continuing story of Peyton Place. Starring Dorothy Malone as Constance Mackenzie, Warner Anderson as Matthew Swain, Ed Nelson as Michael Rossi, Mia Farrow as Allison Mackenzie, Ryan O'Neill as Rodney Harrington, and Barbara Parkins as Betty Anderson.
Schuster, a decision to move to Peyton Place has tonight returned to haunt her. With her husband and the whole town searching for her lost child, Doris is alone and terrified of a threat she now seems to face.
What do you want?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to frighten you.
What are you doing here?
I wasn't going to come in, but well, I heard you say you were going to call the police. And I thought you might be more frightened if you didn't know who it was.
Who are you?
I'm Norman Harrington. I used to live here.
Oh.
I'm really sorry, Mrs. Schuster. Well, I know I have no right just to barge in like this.
Have you seen my little girl? She's blonde, and she's about this tall.
Well, no, I haven't.
She's lost.
Is there anything I can do to help?
No. No. What do you want in this house?
Nothing. I just want to be here. Look around.
Go ahead. What difference does it make?
Kim, please. I'm trying to call your mother and your father to tell them you're all right. That's all. Oh, Rodney, catch her.
Hold it.
Now, Kim, nobody's gonna hurt you.
You know half the town's out looking for this girl.
I was just trying to call her home. Kim, you are going home.
Hey, now you be a good girl, you hear?
You're not fooling me, Kim.
Hello?
Hello, Mrs. Schuster. This is Allison Mackenzie. I'm calling to tell you that, your daughter's with me now. I found her.
Is she all right?
Yes, she's fine. Would you like us to drive her back?
Please, as soon as you can. Would you let the police know that you have her?
All right.
Was the phone call good news?
Yes. Apparently, my little girl just took a walk. She can be such an imp. I appreciate your sentiment in wanting to come back and have another look at the family plantation.
Whatever sentiments I might have felt, pretty well gone with all the changes you've made.
Really? I've kept a few of the Peyton family portraits.
That belonged to my mother's family. But she's gone. nothing's the same.
Norman, I know it must be a difficult time for you.
I remember hearing you can't go home again. But I guess you never believe it until you try it.
I never tried it. I don't know.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Norman, if you'd like to come back here sometime just to talk, please do. I know a little bit about loneliness myself.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night, Norman.
Darling, any word? I'll be right home.
She found? At home?
She's on her way.
Oh, boy, you'd never believe the things that go through a man's mind when his daughter is lost.
Believe it.
Now that it's all over, I'm going to pieces.
That's natural for a father under the circumstances.
It's funny how it gets to you after the danger's over.
Just be glad you're the type to have control when the danger's present.
Normal behavior, eh, Doctor?
Classical. Classical.
Kids are incredible. You think you know everything about them and then they pull something like this. Kim is the last girl in the world to run away from them.
You mean because she's deaf?
Oh, that, yes, and there's just no reason.
Well, apparently she found one. No reason.
Well, I don't think there's any reason that makes any sense.
Hi, sweetheart.
Oh, Mother, I thought you'd be asleep by now.
I wasn't tired. Besides, when you work that late shift, I never get a chance to see you.
And I'm glad you waited up.
Hard day?
No, not particularly. Mother, did you know Reverend Bedford before he left Peyton Place?
Oh, not well, but I knew him.
What was he like?
Well, I always liked Harry Bedford. He could be as wild as the other boys, but there was always something kind of special about him, something thoughtful. I really wasn't surprised when he went into the ministry.
He was at the hospital today. I think he wanted to ask me out.
Well, I could see that coming at Connie's wedding reception. Betty, I'd like for you to start dating again.
With the minister?
Well, don't you like it?
Well, I really don't know. I feel sort of funny about it. I don't even know what to call him.
Try Jerry.
Mother, it's not as simple as that. Betty Anderson and the minister?
Why not Betty Anderson?
Well, we'll see. I'm going to go to bed.
Betty, this isn't enough for you. Working, coming home to sleep, nothing more.
It's the same life you're living.
Well, I'm a few years older than you.
You're still young, Mother. Once we find out about Daddy, what are you going to do?
I don't know.
He shot a man. This time there isn't any comfortable sanitarium, any trial visits home.
I know that.
still young. Are you just going to wait for Daddy?
Betty, whatever happens to your father, I am going to go on living. And I want you to do that, too. Oh, Betty, I'm so glad you're here with me.
And I'm glad you're here with me. Good night.
Come in. Claire,
Hello, Jerry.
come in.
I'm not disturbing you, am I?
You've just given my faith in prayer a tremendous boost. I was sitting there, praying that there'd be some legitimate interruption so I could stop this agony, and a miracle.
Oh.
Sit down.
What agony were you referring to?
My sermon. How do you like it?
Looks pretty thin. What are you going to talk about?
Everything. All the terrifying things that are going on in the world today. Everyone's a part of them, whether he admits it or not, whether he wants to be or not.
Sounds powerful.
I guess that's what's stopping me. I not only have to write it, I have to deliver it. I have to convince my flock that they can't just stand there. They've got to do something about it. While I just stand there, safe and secure in my pulpit. It's like that old service joke. The young, eager lieutenant's busily loading the landing craft. Everyone marvels at his calm because they're all scared to death. Then when the boats are full, he turns to them and says, "Men, I wish I could go with you."
And that's the way you feel.
Only, I don't know whether I'm happy or sad about being left on the beach.
Strange. You always had such crazy dreams at school. You're the last person in the world I ever thought would become a minister.
I had to waste a lot of time feeling at a lot of things before I had guts enough to admit it. To myself, much less the world.
Why?
Never thought I could cut it.
What made you decide to try, Jerry?
I figured if I were going to fail, I might just as well fail at something I care deeply about.
Are you ever frightened? I mean, now?
Can't you hear my knees knocking? That's why I always envied you.
Me?
Never had a doubt. Knew what you wanted from the first. Never let anything sidetrack you.
Jerry, I'm here because I'm not only sidetracked, I'm derailed. I came back to Peyton Place hoping for something. A normalcy. A feeling of continuation. Now I have that chance. Dr. Burgess has to leave the hospital. He's very sick. I've been offered his job. I'm afraid to take it.
Why?
Because I failed too. Not like you, searching for something I didn't think I was worthy of. I failed right where I knew I had to be.
Peru.
It was awful, Jerry. I couldn't cut it.
Sometimes the whole world seems to be failing one way or another. But if everyone who failed lets it freeze them, there wouldn't be a soul left. There wouldn't be anything but ice. Coward. Take my coward's hand.